The Galactic Council had ruled the stars for 12,000 years. They controlled 947 species across 300,000 worlds. Their warships numbered in the millions. Their technology could crack planets and move suns. When they sent their ultimatum to Earth, they expected what they always received from young species: fear, submission, begging. Instead, the human ambassador stood before the council with her hands folded behind her back. She was small by galactic standards, barely reaching the chest of the smallest council representative. Her name was, and she had been chosen specifically for this moment. The Supreme Chancellor, a towering being of crystalline form named, looked down at her with something that might have been amusement. His species had conquered 600 worlds before humans had learned to make fire. He had personally overseen the subjugation of 47 civilizations. "You understand our terms," said, his voice echoing through the vast chamber. "Your species will surrender all military vessels. You will accept our governance. You will provide workers for our mining operations. You will give us access to your genetic material for our breeding programs. This is not negotiable." Smiled. It was not the nervous smile of a scared diplomat. It was the calm smile of someone holding cards that nobody else could see. "And if we refuse?" she asked. The council chamber fell silent. In 12,000 years, no species had ever asked that question. They had begged, they had negotiated, they had tried to flee, but none had simply asked what would happen if they said no. Leaned forward. "Then we will reduce your planet to rubble. We will hunt your colonies across the galaxy. We will erase your species from existence. Your children will never know you existed. Your history will become dust." Nodded slowly, as if considering a business proposal. She looked around the chamber at the hundreds of alien representatives. Some looked eager for conquest. Others looked bored, having seen this scene play out countless times before. A few looked at her with something like pity. "I understand," said, "then go ahead." The silence that followed was absolute. Even the environmental system seemed to pause. Crystalline form flickered with colors that indicated confusion, then anger. "You do not understand," he said. "We are not making an empty threat. Our fleet is already positioned around your solar system. 100,000 warships, weapons that can boil your oceans and turn your continents to glass." "I saw them on my way here," replied. "Impressive formation, very organized." "Then why do you invite your own destruction?" Smile widened slightly. "Because you've made a mistake that every civilization before you has made. You've looked at our small planet, our young civilization, our primitive technology, and you've assumed you know what we are. But you don't know what humans are, Supreme Chancellor. You don't know what we've survived. You don't know what we're capable of when we're pushed." Laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "We have conquered species that spanned galaxies before yours left its cradle. What could you possibly do?" "Let me tell you a story," said. "About 500 years ago, our species nearly destroyed itself. We built weapons that could poison our world for 10,000 years. We burned our skis. We melted our ice. We killed billions of our own kind in wars over resources, religion, and territory. And do you know what we did after that?" She paused, looking directly into his glowing eyes. "We survived, we adapted, we rebuilt, and we learned. We learned that the universe does not care about our survival. We learned that if we wanted to live, we would have to fight for every breath. So we spent the next 500 years preparing for this moment." "Preparing?" scoffed. "Your technology is centuries behind ours." "That's what we wanted you to think," said. "Every piece of technology we've shown the galaxy, every ship we've revealed, every weapon we've demonstrated, those were all from our civilian sector. Things we were willing to lose, things we didn't mind you seeing." For the first time, something like uncertainty crossed features. "You're bluffing." "Am I?" Reached into her pocket and pulled out a small device. "Let me show you something." Right now, at this exact moment, there are 17 human vessels positioned at specific points throughout the galaxy. They're not warships. They're not armed in any conventional sense. They're something we call sleepers. We built them specifically for this day. She pressed a button on the device. Across the chamber, holographic displays flickered. One by one, they showed 17 points of light appearing in different sectors of the galaxy. Then each point expanded, showing energy readings that made even the most advanced species in the room fall silent. What you're seeing, continued, is 17 artificial singularities, black holes in simple terms. Each one is positioned near the home star of a council-founding species, including yours, Supreme Chancellor. Right now, they're stable, contained, but with another press of this button, they will collapse their containment fields. Form blazed with color. That's impossible. You cannot create artificial singularities. We couldn't, not until we had to. You see, when we realized we were not alone in the universe, we asked ourselves a simple question. What do we do if they're hostile? What do we do if they're stronger than us? And the answer we came up with was simple. We make sure that if we die, we don't die alone. The chamber erupted in chaos. Representatives were screaming, demanding to see the readings, calling for their home worlds, but stood calm in the center of it all. We call it the Dead Hand Protocol, she said, her voice cutting through the noise. It's named after an old weapon system from our past. The principle is simple. If humanity falls, if our civilization is destroyed, if our species is erased, then these singularities activate automatically. There is no way to stop them. There is no negotiation. There is only mutual annihilation. Towered over her, his form now a storm of angry colors. You would destroy the galaxy to save yourselves. No, said. We would destroy the galaxy because you gave us no other choice. You came to us with ultimatums. You threatened our children. You promised to erase our existence. So we made sure that our existence would have consequences. We made sure that attacking humanity would not be a victory. It would be suicide. She stepped closer to the crystalline being, showing no fear. You see, Supreme Chancellor, you've conquered species that begged and pleaded and tried to negotiate. But you've never faced a species like humanity. We don't beg, we don't plead, we prepare. We spent 500 years turning our trauma into weapons. We turned our worst instincts into survival mechanisms. You wanted to know what humans would do when faced with extinction. This is your answer. We would take you with us. The chamber was silent again, stared at the small human woman trying to process what he was hearing. This is madness, he finally said. This is the reasoning of a broken species. Maybe, agreed. But we're still standing here, and right now you have a choice to make. You can attack Earth. You can try to destroy humanity. But if you do, you will lose your home world. Your species will die screaming as gravity crushes them into nothing. The same will happen to every founding council species. The galaxy will be torn apart by 17 black holes, each one consuming everything in its path. She held up the device again. Or you can leave us alone. You can withdraw your fleet. You can let humanity exist in peace. And these 17 singularities will stay contained. Your home worlds will be safe. The galaxy will continue spinning. Was motionless for a long moment. Then he asked the question that every representative in the chamber was thinking. How do we know you're telling the truth? How do we know these singularities exist? Nodded to the holographic displays. Send ships to verify. We'll wait. But I should warn you, the singularities are protected by automated defense systems. Any attempt to disable them will trigger immediate collapse, and there are more than 17. We've only shown you the ones near Council homeworlds. There are others, positioned throughout the galaxy, designed to maximize destruction if activated. She let that sink in before continuing. We call it deterrence. It's a concept we learned in our nuclear age. If destroying your enemy means destroying yourself, then nobody destroys anybody. Peace through mutual assured destruction. It's not elegant, it's not noble, but it works. The council debated for 3 days. They sent ships to verify. They found the singularities exactly where said they would be. They found the automated defenses. They found the fail-safes that would trigger if humanity was destroyed. On the 4th day, summoned back to the chamber. "Your species is insane," he said. There was no anger in his voice now, only a strange kind of respect. "We prefer determined," replied. "The council has voted. We will withdraw from your solar system. Your species will be left alone. But understand this, human. You have made enemies today. The galaxy will fear you." Shrugged, better fear than extinct. As she turned to leave, called out one final question. "Why did you tell us? Why reveal your weapons? You could have let us attack and destroyed us without warning." Paused at the door. When she looked back, her expression was sad. "Because we didn't want to. We don't want to destroy anyone. We want to live. We want to explore the stars and meet new species and build a future. But we will not be conquered. We will not be enslaved. We will not go quietly into extinction. So we gave you a choice. The same choice you gave us. Live together or die together. The only difference is we meant it." She walked out of the chamber, leaving the most powerful beings in the galaxy to contemplate their near extinction. In the years that followed, humanity never revealed whether the Dead Hand Protocol was real. The singularities remained in place, silent sentinels across the galaxy. No species dared to test whether the humans had been bluffing. And when other young civilizations asked the older species for advice about dealing with the small creatures from the blue planet, the answer was always the same. Leave them alone. They're the ones who said go ahead and meant it. The universe had learned a lesson that day. There were species that could be conquered. There were species that could be intimidated. And then there were humans who had turned their own capacity for destruction into the ultimate shield. Too late, the galaxy understood why humanity had never begged. They had never needed to. They had built their survival into the fabric of space itself. And they had done it with a smile.